Hey everyone, it's common knowledge that streamers aren't exactly the perfect role model in general, and you don't exactly hear people proudly say how to respect most streamers that they either know or watch. I feel like a huge portion of fans that watch streams mainly just enjoy seeing the mess that is the person in front of the webcam, which I don't really care about. I'm not gonna act like I have the perfect taste for what's fun to watch, but in a perfect world, we wouldn't have drama breaking out online and on Twitter, where most of the time, they'll have streamers talking about it, where they pick a side, or talk about how dumb it is. But there'll be rare cases where a streamer chooses to pick the wrong side and defend it with their life. And it's not just like a one-time case, some of them really don't know when to pick their fights. Which, I guess, fair enough, you make it some few times where you'll be right, but more often than not, you'll end up looking worse.
Anime again. I don't want anything to do with anime. I got my waist bin here, and I got some of my anime. We got Death Note, one of my favorites. Throw it in the bin.
For someone that passionate, I wasn't expecting him to pull out Death Note. Something more weeby, I guess.
Maybe there's some lolly in there.
I'm having a double whopper.
Is it Wally?
Alright, welcome back, ladies and ladies with dicks. If you ever wonder what happened to the guy that said, "So no head?" as a pickup line every time he encountered a woman, this video will serve as a pretty accurate representation to how those clinically depressed semen demons turn out in the future. Hipster TV is a drama YouTube channel that has been circling around multiple communities he gets bullied out of, one of them being the commentary. And he's been doing exactly that for quite some time. If you go onto his channel, you can see some of his older videos date back to 2016. One of them almost being a prologue to this man's horny-lations, being a video of him happily licking the cream off a beer while shooting more into his pants over the fact that Zoe Burger rated one of his streams.
Zoe Burger, look it.
We're about to hit it, guys.
Zoe Burger just rated me. I cannot.
Zoe Burger.
Look at that.
He can't believe it.
He's just checking social play to see how he blows up.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's more cute. Okay, that's not cute being like, I'm gonna worthy.
Equivalent effect of reading your name at the end of somebody's suicide note. Her streams almost had the same effect of the damn ring tapes, except of dying after 7 days you would just contract chlamydia. But my point being, he's been in the YouTube game for a long ass time, which is why I'm quite familiar with him. And if you watch anybody else in the commentary community, they are most likely as well. Perhaps some of them being the ex-colleagues of the guy himself that cut ties with them after not being
See, I know most of the people he showed up on that screenshot. I don't know him, but that might be better. It's like seeing a new fresh take.
Or thought the term tipster was even a person, because off rip, being an obese alcoholic named Tipster is already kind of setting yourself up for failure. The reason this man is probably a mystery to you is the result of the recent dramas or communities he's grifted onto for the past few years that ultimately caused his reputation and view count to plummet down to the bottom of the ocean floor, to start slashing through the cheese and stain underwear and tips.
Hold on, I'm really shocked by that. 100,000 subscribers, right? But like most of the videos break, or lucky to break 2,000 views. That's pretty rare. How hard did he fall off to get like that few views with a fan base? He must have a really dead fan base to, you know, get that long.
This addiction is one that he can't control. His millimeter defeater acts as a Bluetooth device that has it connect to e-girl.
Oh god, I hate that whole golf mommy kink show. No, there's no better way for me to not see you as a human than just saying that.
Shit towards the woman he talks to completely out of the blue. You could be discussing your tax write-offs or the passing of a family member, and he would start to ask you if you need Tipster's tip to feel better. Just really cringy like that, where he really thinks he's cooking up
Tipster's tip? Does he mean the head of the you know what and the you know where?
To make it seem like it's all irony and what he says is all for jokes, not actually meaning anything he tells these poor women that have to check their DMs to see this guy at the top of it. For example, another content creator announced on Twitter that she was lesbian, a very brave action, especially on Twitter, for her to do, so it would be right to give her some flowers for doing so. Tipster, however, would throw the bouquet of flowers he had prepared for her right into the garbage, because instead of congratulating her or saying something supportive, he would instead respond with, "I just grew 3 inches from following Briz on Instagram." The science behind it is true, go check the description. But what he actually said was, "Why do all the hot ones not like dick? LOL. Hashtag feels bad, man." Really weird thing to announce under a tweet like this, but it would get a whole lot.
Right. I just think if you find your own tweet funny, fair enough, whatever. This world is full of comedians, but don't put lol as if it's that good that you have to appreciate
I
it.
want to be clear that he isn't some sort of minor refiner or predator by any means, at least from what we know. Because Tipster would profusely apologize after making this tweet, making it known that he didn't know the girl's age prior to the post. Plus, there's absolutely zero evidence anywhere that proves the fact that he is, so don't take this video as some sort of predatory exposal, because that's not the case. He's just a loser.
Not a groomer. I'm just a
For the average man that had a close call to
That is somewhat funnier. If he was a pedophile, then yeah, but if he's just some guy wanting to get pussy on Twitter, that's more comedic.
of who you talk to online and maybe talk to your wife you have instead. But unfortunately, this
Oh god, that poor woman. My god, that's the thing that sucks. Like he probably pays the bills for the house with that YouTube channel, but I have to imagine that she checks his Twitter once in a while, like checks the tweets tab or the likes tab, which has to be really horrible for him.
How he wanted to give these girls his dusty chewed eraser of a tip. Shout out to Tom Dark for the clips. Wait, would you look at that? I got a new reply from Tipser about my tweet on my cute puppy photos. Let's go see the wholesome thing he has to share. Oops, you liked my tweet. Guess we did it again, you dirty little whore. For context, this is some random Twitter hoe he's replying like this to because of a damn tweet like, your friend is kinda cute. Ayo, she's 16. I was only joking. Can't actually see with their fingers in the way, but I guess I kinda set myself up for that one. Sorry, lol. And it's so sad to hear what happened to her. Nice of you to look after her. Okay, what was the lol for though? Where the hell is the punchline? Are you trying to do stand-up comedy for Miracle Village? Who the hell is laughing at shit besides convicted offenders? Because you went from seriously calling the 16-year-old hot to now calling her ugly once you found out about her age by saying you were joking? Wow, what a neat getter inside. There was no reason to give out a whole ass monologue about it. You could have just said sorry and kept it pushing. Anything for a pink-haired goth mommy. What can I say?
Oh god, he used LMAO and JK.
We're off of that one. Just straight blowing bubbles on her strap-on. What the hell happened to shame? So here another OnlyFans model was announcing that they were naked again, like anybody could care or would even bat an eye.
Oh my god. Right, I can predict he's gonna froth over the OnlyFans bots on Twitter. There's no way he's immune to them. He definitely has like 100 different subscriptions on OnlyFans.
This man was typing all this while he was live streaming, waiting for his wife to prepare him pizza rolls and tater tots for dinner downstairs. Whenever Amaranth was trending for quitting OnlyFans, Tipser would take it upon himself to be the rising rooster to wake everybody up to this world-breaking news by posting it within the first minute Amaranth's video even came out, which is impressive to learn he can deliver.
Oh my god, 1 minute? Jesus Christ. Right, no, you have to actually check her account every single second because the YouTube like notification system it's not quick, so there's no way you could see that video that quick if you weren't like terminally obsessed with it.
Stupid, owing to the fact that absolutely nobody on this earth could give one luck of a fuck about her leaving OnlyFans beside the shrivel simps that pay for her tier 3 subscriptions. You probably didn't even listen to a word she said before sharing to the internet and how his beautiful queen responded. The most prolific e-girl I believe Tipser has fallen stomach over cankles for is a woman that went by the name of AP over 9K. For context, she was in Tipser's little circle of e-girls, but for some reason he saw her as some sort of goth mommy prophecy. They met and talked to each other for around, I believe, only a few months and ended up flirting with each other on his streams on a regular basis. One of those streams, AP was house sloppy drunk and Tippy was making sure to get tipsy as well. The times were great until AP would slur out her words in a way you wouldn't imagine.
Drunken AP goes mask off and delivers the dreaded N-bomb on stream due to her Taco Bell order getting canceled on DoorDash. Based as hell, by the way.
I feel like that's like another terminally online thing. Like somebody like says like to be nice, like, oh, my mom's hot. Like I don't think that's fucking weird. Wait,
did you
what?
say that fucking N-word?
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta.
All of the white guys on the Twitch just had their minds blown.
Discord court between everyone, but AP again was completely plastered and began schizo rambling for the better part of an hour, continuing to be a trifling troglodyte.
Let's get serious again, though. Let's get serious.
What's going on?
Let's get super serial, guys. Okay.
Are you good?
Are you drunk?
Tipser eventually ended up deleting the entire server they were in during her meltdown, cutting the conversation everybody was having off because he was embarrassing.
Honestly, most least arranged Discord server ever.
Realized the entire thing was being recorded in the first place, labeling Tipser to be at fault for all of this for not disclosing anything about this being public, essentially throwing him under the bus in order to get her footing in the commentary space, which she would admit later on one of her tweets, closing it all off that she was livid Tipser wouldn't defend her, so her response to that was to leak all of the private DMs the two shared, which furthermore just gave the perception of how alone and sad this guy makes himself be, despite having a wife knitting in the adjacent room. Notice the new profile picture. Not gonna lie, it looks hot and hot pink. Thanks, I love it. Even hotter goth mommy. Why give a fuck about what people think about you? You be yourself and own it, because those of us who love and respect us do for who you are, you know? I thought you looked great.
But I'm gonna stop this because I don't want this video to go on for 5 more minutes of this guy frothing for goth mommies. But man, he's one of those streamers that they're not big enough for everyone to know them, but they're also tiny enough that they can basically be as like weird as they want, just saying whatever kink they have. Okay, in his defense, he doesn't say on stream, which I guess is better, but on Twitter, if you check on his own account, it's probably harder to not find a tweet that has like Goth Mommy in it than one that does. Which I guess he feels compelled to, you know, always tweet about. Don't most streamers just use the account on Twitter just to like post, hey, I'm streaming, come hang out if you want. I've rarely seen them be this upset with it. Most of the time they make jokes, but on this level, I've never seen it this bad.
Hot goth. I don't give this to many people, but if you ever need to talk, don't hesitate to call or text me. I'm a busy guy, so I may not respond immediately, but I will respond. Gotcha, thanks. Like, bro, just take the fucking hint. She shut down every one of your advances directly to your face, but you just kept standing right back up and charging forward. You put so much passion into the woman that show obvious signs of having...
That is a dry response. Sorry. Gotcha.
Where Brick was trying to flirt with the receptionist, there's hardly any social skills besides you drooling out of both heads from her presence being before you. So both of these people in this situation are pretty bad. Tipster you might show an ounce of compassion for, considering the fact AP used him like a fleshlight to get more eyes to her name, and on the count of himself apologizing to AP and anybody else he might have creeped out with his DM. But AP is absolutely indefensible, being caught on video skipping teaching her kids the ABCs by jumping right to the hard R once again, coaching him to call somebody that in order to get back his phone, which is two signs of a great mother, teaching her kids that sounds no more than...
She's a mom? Oh my god, no.
Giving him a phone to rot his brain out at such a young age.
Hold on, everyone shut up! Say Spondyle is a fucking nigger.
No.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
No.
Spondyle is a nigger.
No. If that was the only thing to get my phone back, I did it.
Okay. You have your phone back if you say Spondyle.
If your kid actively knows the impact of that word more than you, then not a good sign.
Wait, say it in here. Right here.
Spondyle is a...
That's what I thought.
So after the person you saw as a quote-unquote friend openly admits to using you, sharing your private DMs...
That's one of those reminders that you forget that basically anyone can have a kid, no matter like what mental state they are.
If this was me, I would make sure this couldn't even access my Google Cloud print. But Tipster can't handle the fact of losing his one and only goth queen, so not even a few months later they would be seen together on podcasts, treating their drama like it was nothing but a simple misunderstanding, defending her as his dear friend once again. Tipster after this later got accused
Good guy. Good man.
Panda, who was a victim of line maker, that resulted in his entire career ending. If you watched Drama Alert at all back in the day, you would definitely know who this guy is. Bro, what the fuck? This was 8 years ago? In short, Paige didn't want any contact with the internet after the whole entire situation, but Tipster was destined to talk to her. Having Doelle, some ordinary gamer's girlfriend, claimed Tipster went out of his way to add Paige on Facebook to try to spit some game to her on there. Tipster would keep denying having any weird intentions with Paige and simply state he was reaching out to her in a friendly way.
I haven't even known of your existence before. You're saying that I tried to... I haven't even known of your existence
Paige
before
the Panda? Didn't you go and look for Paige the Panda on Facebook and friend request her?
Yeah, I was Maker Girl? Yeah, I was in communication with her because we were discussing her GoFundMe.
Communication with you, and you went and frickin' friend requested her on Facebook. You went to go look for her on Facebook.
That's not true. That's not true. When I friended her on Facebook,
I have the screenshot.
I'm not saying I didn't friend her.
But I just really don't see the fucking point. She made it evidently clear that she wanted her privacy after being dragged into the spotlight for being groomed. The case was completely closed, with all evidence already being a part of 50 YouTube documentaries from years ago. I know you're...
I might just be being really dumb, but is he trying to drag in the poor girl or guy, whatever, into the story again to get make his own video about the whole topic and reap some views from it?
The victim for some sort of video insight, despite her pleading for people to leave her the fuck alone, you're pretty shady. If it was to hit on her right after she got taken advantage of by another balding creep, then that's pretty fucking gross. If it's for a friendly approach like you claim, you're still disrespecting her wishes. I just don't understand the thought process for even trying to message her in the first place. So he defends and befriends.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It would be awkward to be going through Line Maker and then having one big fat streamer try to be friends with you on Facebook.
One of the main topics that always ends with himself being horrendously clowned on for is his continuation over time of defending lollipops. I'm gonna be calling it that for monetization's sake, because I don't really know if this platform's gonna mess with that word. Recently, the creator known as Vosh leaked one of his folders during a live stream that contained images of horses f***ing a cartoon child, almost undergoing cardiac arrest once he learned the folders of lollipops he meant to be.
Bro, I really want to see a video about that because most of the time I don't care about drama or for streamers, but that's the one time I want to know how it happened for him to leak folders. What guy keeps folders nowadays of porn on his computer?
Thousands of people.
See, this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
That's
We've all jerked it to love at some point or another.
Personally,
I love how that was the first folder in his like file explorer that popped up.
Ended us with some fine ass woman. Back when I was on my Naruto days, I would be lying if I said Lady Tsunade didn't have me in a chokehold. You know, I won't act like I don't see the vision with finding some characters off of some shows attractive, but why little children, or something that alludes to one? Their main offense every time is to sniff all their boogers down their throats and say, well, actually, if you knew the lore, you'll understand she's a 4,000-year-old human-eating wizard that de-ages through the blood of her victim. Like, that shit's cool and all, but why does she look like a preschooler? You're choosing to act like her looking like a kid is just some abstract illusion that people see. So yeah, dude, my opinion about that is you're pretty fucking weird. Go up to one person at a Costco and tell them that you jerk off to horse cock slapping across the face of drawings of ancient witches that look like middle schoolers. They probably look at you like this.
That's the average question you ask people at Costco.
Because Vosh's biggest fantasy is to mash pissers with a woman as a horse. So if you put two and two together, wanting to be a horse while you have save images of horses busting across images of drawn out kids, it's not really a good look and it's really hard to defend.
I'll make it clear. You can write this down. I want to a woman as a horse. None of this is a secret. To be clear.
Right. I want to say now, I have a very big tolerance for cringe, but that's the one part where people try to defend their own fetishes on stream, when in reality, they know themselves. There's not a lot of room to defend themselves. But if you're forced on stream to do so, you're gonna come up with any idea you have in your mind to make yourself seem, innocent. Of course, it'd probably seem more bizarre if you just end the stream right there, but I don't know how long that defense went on for after stream or after he turned off his computer and just like did the webcam only. But any short amount of time was just painful, having to listen to like why he has like a terabyte or however much on his computer. So the last half of this video is gonna be painful if that's what it boils down to.
Started to resurface of him morally justifying.
I think it's gonna be more about like the fat streamer defending his friend Vosh, who'll just defend anyone.
Because majority of the people that live here own something that was the result of some sort of child abuse, like parts of a phone that was manufactured in Thailand by 12-year-old child slave, which is like comparing dicks to balls essentially. Because whenever you unbox your phone, you get an Apple logo as a startup, not some intro video of meeting the creator where it shows some kid crying out in agony as his hands get crushed by heavy machinery. The result of cheese pizza is simply the act of what it took to make it. It's all just abuse from start to finish, all the way to the sick ass who decides to watch it.
If the offender is consuming child porn without paying for it, if you're not paying for child porn, if you're just getting it, there is no moral or legal argument against that. That doesn't also rope in you guys for the things that you have purchased. I would never make the argument that somebody who doesn't pay for child pornography consumes in any way has committed an immoral act.
Not argue there's a difference. I would not argue that there is anything wrong.
If that was in an earlier stream, there is small bits of foreshadowing in his life.
Unethical for a person to purchase child pornography or
that guy to the left, he's like, should I end this podcast? I don't know.
Between that and again, buying a computer with silicon that was mined up by literal child slaves.
His defense for all of this was to always say it was all out of context, coming out with a recent response claiming himself that his argument was a stupid one to stand on, explaining how he used the
that video was 2 hours long. God.
People's attention towards the abuse of kids happens across the world in order to make all these products the average man owns.
My dumb goal here was to spark indignant outrage, to make people who downplay the immorality of unethical supply chains to reflect on the harm they were enabling through comparison and look bad. It was meant to be like an invective, like something like...
Didn't it just start from him opening up his porn folder, on his computer?
Said it like a true scholar. It's not like this was some sort of one-off occasion for you, though. You made this argument over 100 times, making it very adamant on the fact that people should not be punished for owning it, trying to constantly play devil's advocate towards something that aren't even close in comparison.
Window, but then accidentally instead clicked the Save As tab in the right-click drop-down.
Then you now get outed for having multiple folders of lollipops saved on your computer afterwards. You can't tell me that doesn't make you seem a tad bit suspicious. So how does this relate back to Tipster? Well, I wanted to give context towards what he would proceed to fight for the death over, defending Vosh with his heart and soul over this conflict, taking Vosh behind his back, shielding him away like Captain America picking up Bucky after a long battle. Defending this is weird in its own right, but Tipster would outright...
I think it's somewhat arrogant to see yourself as like big enough that you can shift the tide of the argument online of people hating on him.
Admitted we're completely wrong of him, and then go out of your way to make up this narrative that Vosh saved all of these photos in a folder named To Be Sorted by mere accident.
Not okay with Lolly. I don't defend the existence of Lolly.
I don't defend it, but let me proceed spending this entire stream defending my friend who had big ass photos for it.
I'm willing to be charitable and listen to his explanation that, hey, it was an accident. I didn't.
Right, because that just happens to the best of us when we randomly contract Parkinson's and start typing horse hentai, not being able to stop clicking your mouse from saving every photo. I mean, at your old wise age, I thought it would be pretty practical to have some common sense. There's no accidentally saving a photo. It requires like 4 fucking clicks in order to have that happen. That was saved and fully stored for whatever horrors Vosh will use them for.
And in regards to Vosh,
I'm surprised he didn't like try to use defense that he wants to sort it out as seeing like who people behind it were and try to get them, you know, caught.
Make his arguments, but I don't think that he's defending the existence of CP or adults having sex with children. None of that shit.
He admitted it was a completely disgusting thing for him to do, and it still makes him extremely weird for even providing that argument in the first place with context added. So why are you choosing to die on this hill when he admitted to all of it being wrong? It sort of reminds me of that one Japanese soldier in World War II who kept fighting people 30 years later not knowing the war was over. You're swinging at fistfuls of air right now for no reason. You just keep embarrassing yourself with every sentence you say. Tipster would get criticized by H3H3's podcast for defending this weirdo, and he would also later cry about it in his
That's the actual big enemy, yeah. He's massive.
When it's completely fair to get shit on by people when you defend things that even the people who have done them have admitted were frightfully wrong.
I tweeted the tweet with my criticism of H3. I did try to tweet it in a way that it wasn't aggressive, or I wasn't trying to be like crazy argumentative or whatever. I wanted to state my criticism, but I didn't want to be a dick about it, okay? I tweeted that tweet, I went to bed, and I woke up to utter chaos because Ethan saw my tweet, Ethan didn't like my tweet, and Ethan responded to my tweet.
Your body built like a buzzball. Man, there's other things that matter in the world, I would hope, to you than just Twitter drama, because you have a family and a wife that you constantly be unfaithful.
He has a family as well. Oh god.
The stupid experience has honestly ruined anime for me in general. I said it before, like, hentai was never my thing, but if you're into hentai, honestly, just stay the
He definitely touched himself for 80% of his life through hentai. I do not believe that statement.
It's lolly, and then you could find yourself in a situation like this. So this whole situation has honestly ruined anime for me.
How is that possibly true when you've been exposed in the past for doing the same for years? You had one of your friends like a picture that contained a graphic image of lollipops, claiming she did the same by accident, going out of your way to even defend the art style, being some sort of lollyologist saying it was an adult, regardless of it being clearly pointed out that it was a fact of a child that was drawn.
A lot of questions on whether she meant to actually like it or not. Her claim was that it was an accident, but a few pressed X to doubt. Thankfully for her, her reputation wasn't far enough gone for Tipster, who once again donned his triple XL white knight armor. He proclaimed that the art was not even lolly. Bo Blacks responded proclaiming, "It's lolly, Tipster. It's a cartoon of a child and nothing but a strip of clothing covering the flat chest and crotch. Had to unfollow Rum because her liking it put that disgusting shit on my timeline." Tipster claimed it was not lolly at all, and that it could have possibly just been a drawing of a petite grown woman. He further defended the art and his friend liking it, and was then ripped apart by commentary spurgs.
There's even more examples of you defending this, so why would this certain situation be the sole reason you'll never touch anime again? What I see out of this is you not being able to handle your own stupidity, defending things that are completely indefensible, and then retracting your statements whenever you actually start to get backlash for it. It's an ongoing cycle I've seen from you. You've always deleted tweets after having a meltdown at the 200 teenagers who keep quote retweeting you. Pretty pathetic to take back everything you said after.
No, I love Tour Drama. That's all I have to say. Tour Drama is beautiful.
Meltdown of this degree.
I want to watch anime again. I don't want anything to do with anime. I got my.
This makes this whole beginning intro for this video way worse. Now that I know the context on why, like, I hate anime now. I ain't throwing the bin.
Z, another great anime show. Throw it in the bin.